Let me tell you something. I've seen some wild quarterback sagas in my time covering this league. But what's happening in Cleveland right now? This isn't your usual rookie growing pains. This isn't some classic wait your turn, earn your stripe story. No! What we're watching feels calculated, it feels ugly, and it feels like sabotage dressed up in a cheap disguise called development. Now suddenly Kevin Stefanski wants to tell us this was all about a long-term plan for Shedeur Sanders? Please! That's not development, that's damage control. And it's showing up way too late for anybody with a shred of common sense to buy into it. You don't get to gaslight an entire fan base and expect people to nod along politely. Not in Cleveland, not with this history. The receipts are everywhere and fans are tearing them up one by one. Nobody is buying Stefanski's flimsy excuses, and I don't blame them. Because tell me, since when do you develop a rookie quarterback by sticking him behind the flimsiest offensive line in camp, handing him watered down play calls, then yanking him after 2 ugly drives and 1 blindside demolition that looked like somebody pressed fast forward on the defense? That's not teaching, that's punishment. And don't even get me started on the reps. Shedeur spent all week stripped of red zone snaps, then gets tossed into live action, and everybody acts shocked when he looks shaky inside the 20. Come on. That's not growth, that's sabotage. Scrap linemen, scrap playbook, scrap respect. Meanwhile, the veteran starter gets bubble wrap, protection, and a free pass. You can call it rotation. I call it what it is, deliberate negligence. And now the heat's on. The internet's on fire. The locker room is leaking like a busted pipe. Former pros are calling Stefanski out on national stages. And what's his move? He panics. The Browns just cut the entire offensive line that protected Shedeur in that preseason massacre. Not 1 guy, not 2, all 5. Gone, tossed aside like they were the sole villains. Sure, they weren't great, but let's be real. That wasn't accountability. That was scapegoating in its purest form. Because offensive linemen don't call protections. They don't dial up 3rd and long rollouts from their own end zone. They didn't design an offense that sent a rookie quarterback into a buzzsaw. That blueprint, that's Stefanski's signature. And here's the part that really twists the knife. From everything I'm hearing, Shedeur never even understood this so-called plan. Stefanski said he did, but word from Shedeur's camp? Nope. He walked into Cleveland believing he'd get a fair shot. Not QB1 right away, sure, but real reps, real evaluation, real growth. Instead, he got the 3rd string graveyard, a supporting cast that couldn't block a stiff breeze, wideouts who couldn't separate, and coaches who treated him like an afterthought. And do you know what that does to a young quarterback? It poisons everything. It shatters rhythm. It corrodes confidence. It wrecks the film. Because now the tape shows missed throws but doesn't show the collapsing pocket. The stat sheet shows low completion percentages, but not the swarm of unblocked rushers breathing down his neck. The narrative becomes, he's not ready instead of the truth. He never had a chance. That's how careers get sabotaged. Before they even begin. Fans see it, analysts see it, and don't think players don't see it too. Watch the pressers, the cautious words, the careful tone. That's not confidence, that's fear. That's eggshells. And confident organizations don't walk on eggshells around their rookie. They rally, they shout, they say, he's the real deal and we got his back. That's not happening in Cleveland. Instead, Stefanski points fingers everywhere, but at himself. The O-line, the kid's inexperience, the media, even the front office, anybody but him. But here's the brutal truth. If your rookie quarterback isn't ready, that's on you, coach. If your roster can't protect him, that's on you. If the fan base has already lost faith before week 1, that's on you too. And let me ask you something. Do you really think Shedeur Sanders is going to commit long-term to a franchise that burns him in year 1? Do you think his camp isn't already weighing options, looking around the league, wondering which city would actually build around him instead of throwing him into a political chess match? This thing is going beyond preseason drama. It's not just a quarterback controversy anymore. It's a culture problem. It's sabotage. And it's playing out in real time under the brightest spotlight in the NFL. And Stefanski, he's scrambling like a drowning man, trying to sell Cleveland on the idea that all of this was part of the plan. But fans aren't buying it. The league isn't buying it. And honestly, I don't buy it either. Because if Shedeur Sanders doesn't get a fair shot soon, This won't just be Kevin Stefanski's downfall. It could be the end of Shedeur's future in Cleveland before it even begins. And that's a tragedy the Browns can't afford to repeat again. You can feel it. The air around this team isn't just heavy with losses, it's heavy with tension. The owner wants one thing, the coaching staff wants another, and stuck in the middle of this tug of war is a 22-year-old kid with NFL blood running through his veins. Shedeur Sanders. Now, some people hear his name and laugh. They'll bring up that brutal preseason stat line like it's gospel. Negative 27 yards, 5 sacks, 0 scoring drives, ugly, embarrassing. The kind of numbers that Twitter lives to. Mark! And yeah, on the surface it looked bad. But here's the part the highlight shows won't tell you. It didn't just look like failure. It looked like sabotage. It looked like a coaching staff more interested in proving a point than protecting a player. Because let's be real, Shedeur wasn't set up to succeed. He was set up to fail. He had paper-thin protection, no adjustments from the sideline, third-string receivers, a vanilla script, and the shortest leash I've ever seen for a rookie trying to find his rhythm. You want to talk about development? That's not development. That's politics disguised as patience. And yet, through all of that, through the ridicule, through the constant benchings and whispers that he's not NFL ready, one man still believes Jimmy Haslam. Now listen, Haslam has taken his fair share of criticism, and most of the time, it's been deserved. But right now he might be the only guy in Berea with the guts to think beyond the next Sunday. While Kevin Stefanski is calling ultra-conservative plays just to cling to his job, Haslam is looking 3 years down the line. He's not obsessing over Joe Flacco's knowledge of the system. He's not buying into Flacco and Gabriel as a safe placeholder. He's watching Shedeur in practice, demanding progress reports, pushing for snaps, because he sees something the coaches don't want to admit. The kid has it. Not perfect footwork, not a polished pocket presence yet, but that spark, that raw, unteachable, generational spark. The kind that Josh Allen had when people said he'd never fix his accuracy. The kind that Lamar Jackson had when the league tried to shove him into a box as just an athlete. The kind that Patrick Mahomes had when people thought he was too reckless to ever succeed. Shedeur has that same spark, but right now, it's being smothered by politics. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because this isn't just about football anymore. This is a full-blown power struggle. Coaching staff versus ownership. Short-term job security versus long-term vision. Stefanski and his crew are clawing for 9 wins just to keep their headsets another year. Haslam? He's trying to build a franchise quarterback who could change the next decade. And honestly, that's what owners are supposed to do, because here's the truth. Flacco is a stopgap. Gabriel is serviceable at best, but neither of them is the future. And if Shedeur's ceiling is anywhere close to what his believers say it is, then burying him on the depth chart isn't just cautious, it's cowardly. And don't think the fans aren't noticing. Every week that Shedeur sits, the pressure grows. Every loss with Flacco makes the whispers louder. Every underwhelming Gabriel snap makes the chants of Shedeur echo louder in the stadium. And when this thing finally blows up, and trust me it will, it won't just be another quarterback controversy. It'll be an identity crisis for the entire franchise. Because the Browns aren't just losing games right now. They're losing hope. And hope is the one thing Shedeur actually brings. He brings juice. He brings excitement. He brings a reason for fans to turn on the TV every Sunday instead of walking away. That's not just about football. That's entertainment. That's identity. That's belief. And let's get one thing straight. This isn't about whether Shedeur is flawless right now. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions as a rookie. Josh Allen looked lost his first year. Justin Herbert? People thought he wasn't ready either until he shocked the world. The only difference, they were given the chance to grow. The Browns? They're too busy protecting egos and job titles to take the same chance. But here's the thing, Shedeur knows all this. He knows the media's laughing. He knows the staff keeps labeling him not ready. And yet he's not firing off angry tweets. He's not leaking frustrations to reporters. He's showing up early, leaving late, studying, grinding, keeping his head down while the building around him burns with dysfunction. That's maturity. That's leadership. That's QB1 presence. So let me ask you, how much longer are the Browns going to hide behind this not ready excuse? How much longer are they going to cling to mediocrity while the one guy with real potential rots on the sideline? Because every day they wait, the storm grows closer, Haslam's patience shrinks, the fan base boils, and when it finally breaks, when Flacco flames out and Gabriel flatlines, Shedeur is the only one left standing, and if he seizes that moment, if he proves what many of us already believe, Stefanski and his staff won't just be wrong. They'll be finished, because at that point, it won't just be about a rookie quarterback who deserved a chance. It'll be about a coaching staff that refused to see what was right in front of them. And when you defy the man signing the checks, that doesn't end in a polite conversation. That ends in pink slips. So here's the fork in the road, Cleveland. Do you cling to fear of mediocrity, or do you bet on the future? Do you keep Shedeur Sanders locked away, or do you finally unleash him and see what happens? The fans are ready. The owner is ready. And Shedeur, he's more than ready, because Cleveland doesn't need perfection right now. They need purpose. They need direction. They need belief. And Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback in that locker room who still gives them all three.